children, today we are going to start chapter Street Games of India. In this chapter, the writer is talking about different street games like Goli, which is played by marbles, Macholi or blind man's buff. It is like hide and seek. One player is blindfolded. Lattu is made of mud or wood. Then Kabaddi is a fast game. In this chapter, the writer is talking about 4 different games which he played in his childhood: Goli, Macholi, Lattu, and Kabaddi. The writer of the chapter is Raj Anand. He was an Indian writer born in 1905. He wrote essays, short stories, and the first Indian English novel. He highlighted the problem faced by the poor. He got Sahitya Academy Award and Padma Bhushan. Excited, talking and laughter, shouts of joy and despair. These are the sounds of the street games of India. In this text, author Raj Anand recalls the games that he played as a young boy. My interest in playing street games began early. One of my earliest memories is playing the game of Goli. The game is played with marbles, which we collected by breaking the neck of old soda water bottles. Sometimes we bought colorful marbles. Children, Indian street games are very exciting. There is lot of fun, laughter, shouts of joy, one who wins, and shout of despair when a team loses. In the chapter, the writer recalls means remembers the game which he played as a young boy. Means in his childhood, he played these games. Writer's interest in playing street games began early. One of the games he played was Goli. Goli is played with marbles. He collected the marbles from old soda water bottles, and sometimes he purchased the colorful marbles. To play the game, each player has to have a goli or marble. A little hole is dug into even ground with the heel of the foot. Each player then kneels on the ground 6 feet away from the hole. Then, with their fingers, they strike their goli, trying to get them into the hole. They also try to strike the other players' goalies out of the way of their own goli, or they use their goli to push the other goalies into the hole. Now, how the game is played? The game is played with marbles, and it is played in group. Each player should have a goli. A small hole is dug into flat ground, kneeling 6 feet away from the hole. Each player uses his fingers and goli to strike the other goalies. To drive the goli into the hole, they have to push the goli into the hole. Shouts of "Ah, goli mari" can be heard when one succeeds in striking another goli out of the way. The player who gets all the goalies into the hole first is the winner. So who is the winner in the game of goli? When a player succeeds in striking the goli, all the players shouts. All the players are shouting, "Goli mari, goli mari." The one who gets all the goalies into the hole is declared the winner. Father did not like us to waste time playing goli, but I tried my luck at the game anyway. However, I did not have the deft fingers needed to be really good at the game, and often lost my goalies to the older players. Writer is saying my father did not like me playing goli, and I did not have skillful fingers also. Still, I played the game with the older. So children, now the writer is talking about another game, that is Macholi. It was not long before I moved on to other games. The game I enjoyed the most was Macholi or blind man's buff. In this game, one player covers their eyes with their hand or with a piece of cloth. The others hide in different places and the blind man looks for them. So Aankh Macholi is a game where player is blindfolded. One player is blindfolded. In this game, one player blindfold eyes and he has to pay attention to the sounds and of every movement, footsteps, and locate the person who is hiding or the players who are hiding. So, the first time I played this game with my older cousin, I cheated. I peeped through my fingers to see where she had hidden herself. Then I ran here and there, pretending to look for her. Finally, when she nearly showed herself behind the charpai, I caught her and laughed and shrieked as though I had been looking all over for her. The writer played the game first time with his cousin. He peeped means looked secretly through his finger to see where she has hidden herself. And then he ran here and there to look for her. Finally, he found her behind charpai. Charpai is a kind of bed tied with rope. However, as I grew up, I found that playing blind man's buff with a large group required more skill. Each one was so clever at hiding the blindfolded one roamed about, hearing the others shout but unable to touch anyone. When the writer grew up, he came to know that this game is not so easy. It requires more skill to play the game, and each one has to be very clever, that the blindfolded man unable to touch anyone.
Sometimes the older boys used the game as trick on me when they did not want to play with them. Although I remember crying many times when they did this, I enjoyed this game even when I became older. The writer is trying to say that the older boys sometimes played a trick on him when they did not want him to play with him. What they did? They blindfolded him and left him. The boys did not want him to be a part of their group as he was not old enough. In spite of the fact, he cried many times. The writer cried many times.